the son of Sharon Parker, the father of young daughter Autumn. Said it's been very tough not seeing her. She turns 2 on August the 19th, but he's focused on one thing: winning the gold medal. Reigning world champion, U.S. champion, Demetrius Andrade out of Providence, Rhode Island, says, listen, as the favorite, I need to get off to quick starts, hope the scoring goes well. I go into each bout as if I'm a huge underdog. That's what he told us earlier this week. We'll see if he follows that game plan. The last American to win a gold medal in this weight class, Mark Freeland, back in 1984. Kenny Gould, the last medal winner for the United States. He captured bronze in 1988. Started boxing at the age of 6, did Andrade. But boxing is where he's found his athletic prowess.
First thing that strikes you when you look at Andrade at 20 years of age, good size, tall, lean, but he's very strong.
Wang Ju of China, the referee, chant of USA, trying to urge on Andrade.
Andrade is a southpaw, long arms, quick hands, and as I said before, has power to match that speed. That's not what you want to see early on from Andrade, where he's getting out of position, he's starting to reach in. I don't think that Vanya can match up physically with the 2007 world champion Andrade, but Vanya has a difficult style. He can get you out of sorts, he can get you out of position, and if he can do that, he can be effective. You don't want to see Andrade start reaching.
So 1 minute into this opening round, and there's no points registered for Andrade and Vanya. Nice combination from Andrade. Gets away from some danger.
Again, Vanya does not have the credentials that Andrade has, but he does have a style that can present plenty of problems.
Well, in winning the world championship, in which he won every bout by 11 or more points, he had to beat Nan Boomjungyong of Thailand, which could be awkward in his own style.
You see one of the great physical assets of Andrade right here, those long arms, and coming from that southpaw position. That's what he needs to do.
Dips away from danger, shoots a shot to the body and gets a point. Then went up to the head, and then he gets tied up by Vanya.
One of the great dimensions of Andrade is exactly that he has two dimensions, Bob. He can fight outside with those long arms, or as you saw a moment ago, he can attack on the inside.
So Demetrius Andrade, in his first Olympic round, off to a 2-0 lead.
Take a look at the action from round one. You see the outside work by Andrade, using that long jab. Right there was the moment early on where Andrade was able to get himself out of it, but Vanya was able to make him reach a little bit. But then later on, it was Andrade getting his way, getting inside and showing you that even with those long arms, he knows how to shorten up the punches and take control inside.
Andrade has been honed by his father, Paul, and David Keefe at the 401 Boxing Club in Cranston, Rhode Island. Loved playing football as a kid, but he told us his dad said, pick one sport, and I settled in on boxing. Round number 2 in this 4-round Olympic bout. Demetrius Andrade of the United States, reigning gold medal champion at the World Championships, and favored to win gold here in Beijing, off to a 2-0 lead.
You know, we talked in the fight plan in Teddy's corner about Andrade will push out a half a jab, try to lure you in a little bit, take a little step back and set up that right hook. And that's exactly right here what it looks like Andre's trying to do. He's flicking out that half jab, and that's just what he's trying to do. Take a little step back and set up that right hook that misses and goes around the head of Vanya.
Getting rough in there. Is that something that Andrade, especially when you get to this high level of international competition, the Olympics, the pinnacle, opponents are going to try, I would think, to rough him up, hold him a lot, wrestle with him, to try any which way they can and negate, obviously, his speed and quickness.
Well, you're exactly right, Bob. And part of winning an Olympic gold or traveling the road to get to that position is dealing with awkward styles, all kind of styles in this tournament. Vanya presents one of those styles.
Yeah, Vanya got a point for wrestling before. It's now 2-1, Andrade.
Now again, there are two Andres. One is the power Andre. He can get inside, he can walk you down a little bit. And the other one is the Andrade who can box on the outside as a warning is administered by the referee. Actually, in Olympic boxing, the term is not warning. The term would be caution is administered by the referee.
Because repeated cautions would mean a warning, which means your opponent could be given 2 points for repeated infractions. And Vanya doing a good job right now of keeping the score low.
He does little subtle things, Vanya, with that awkward cleverness, so to speak. They take a half a step back, just enough to keep you a little bit off balance. And as you just said, right now keeping the score low. Take a look at the action from the last round. Andrade looking for the power shots, looking to get inside, load up a little bit, and having trouble really targeting Vanya for a clean shot. And again, we touched on it early in the first round. You don't want to see Andrade, if you're a supporter of him or of the U.S. team, reaching. And in spots, Vanya has been able to get Andrade to reach a little bit. You know, the thing that I would be concerned a little bit with Andrade, besides that he doesn't have a bigger lead, is that he hasn't been consistent in one area. You know, he hasn't made up his mind what it is that he's going to look to dominate with tonight. Is he going to dominate with his boxing, or is he going to dominate with his strength game? 1 minute he's looking to box, the next minute he's in his kind of position on the inside, roping and wrestling.
Andrade cautioned for the hold. And now Vanya cautioned for using his elbow. Suddenly Andrade has opened up a 7-2 lead with hand speed. Now it's 7-3 as Vanya gets a point back.
You know, I was talking about Andrade not finding exactly what his identity needed to be tonight. He has two identities. He can box on the outside, or he can walk forward in that power game. I think right now this round he's decided it's going to be the power game. And when it is the power game, he will cover up, go into that peekaboo, bend his knees a little bit, and walk forward.
Andrade told to keep his head up. It's been kind of a rough fight. Good right hand to the body by Andrade. Caused Vanya to pause for a second. And Andrade got a point for that body shot.
Andrade is a good body puncher.
That right hand to the body froze Vanya for a second. Don't dip your shoulder.
Andrade will throw a good right hook to the body to look for the left hand up top, and he also throws a good uppercut.
Oh yeah, another body shot hurt Vanya. The right hand to the body. Now Andrade trying to cover up. And Andrade has opened up a 10-5 lead. There's one thing that Andrade seems to do though, when he dips away, he stays all the way down.
There's a plus and a negative to Andrade when he goes into that power game. The plus is he affects people, he hurts people. The negative is sometimes he loads up so much, and I think that's what you're touching on, Bob. He gets himself out of position.
Andrade up in the round 6-4, and he has a 4-point lead. Andrade cautioned again for having his head down, but Vanya had it in a headlock. So a 6-4 round for Andrade, and he's opened up a 4-point lead through 3.
Look at some of the action from the last round. And right there you see Andrade comes out with the earmuffs on, and he's looking to go to work with the power game on the inside. He's looking to block and then pitch.
Dan Campbell, the head coach for the U.S. boxing team, giving instructions to Demetrius Andrade.
The arsenal to look for with Andrade when he goes to that power game, the punches of choice for him is the one that we've seen already, the right hook to the body, and he throws a real good uppercut on the inside. Look for Andrade, if he's going to continue with the inside fighting, to show that uppercut.
Fourth and final round for Demetrius Andrade of the United States. Kakabir Vanya of Georgia in the blue.
You know, you have to wonder, the head coach Dan Campbell, knowing that Andrade's ahead in this fight, told him for the last round, okay, let's switch up now to the second Andrade. Let's go to the outside game, not the power game, where maybe you can take advantage of a desperate Vanya trying to catch up, catch him walking in. It looks like maybe that's on the mind of Andrade just a little bit in this last round. He knows he's going to get opportunities to catch Vanya coming in. I think that's exactly what Andrade's thinking. Going to stay on the outside.
Vanya got a point. And now there's some loose string from the headgear of Andrade. Teddy, as the reigning world champion, would you say that the performance right now is a little uneven, or is it the awkward style of Vanya that's making it look that way?
No, I think it's a little uneven, but I think it's getting better as the bout goes on. I think that Andrade's loosening up a little bit, starting to relax a little bit, and I think this first fight in the tournament with so much on the shoulders of Andrade, you know, so much promise, so much expectation, I think this fight will serve him well, just to relax and get into the right rhythm. Get one under his belt.
30 seconds to go. Vanya down 2.
If anything that you're disappointed about with Andrade, I think it has to be that he has not used that long southpaw jab enough. Looking for the big shots, maybe too much. And obviously the big shots in amateur boxing count no more than the little shots.
Andrade gets a point, gives himself a 3-point cushion. Under 10 seconds to go. Vanya steps in, rips a shot. He's within 2. And there's the bell to end it. They each trade another punch, but it didn't count. So Demetrius Andrade of Providence, the 20-year-old world champion, in his first bout of the Olympics in a hard-scrabbled 11-9 win.
I think that Andrade was very tight in this fight. Again, I think any young man 20 years of age with great expectations coming into the Olympic tournament, they're going to be tight in their first fight. I think this was a fight that had to get out of the way. Kind of like that old saying, don't worry about how you look, just get the win. We'll look better next time. I think that's in the mind of Andrade and his coaches.
Andrade was outscored in the final round 3-1 by Kakabir Vanya of Georgia, but Andrade did enough Got out to a 2-0 lead after round number 1. Had a good round 3 and held on for an 11-9 victory. So the 11-9 victory. He's standing by with Jim.
Demetrius, congratulations on your first victory here in the Olympics. How would you assess your performance?
Oh, it was pretty good for my first fight, you know. I came out there with the intention of trying to get to him early because I fought him in the World Championships. I knew he was going to be rough, throw a lot of elbows, you know how he was putting my head down. You see now, I just try to keep my composure and keep throwing them punches.
You're a little nervous here in your first attempt. It seemed like at times there was a bit of an uneven performance.
Well, not really, you know. Like this is my first fight, you know, it's a little rusty. And so, but as the fights go on, I should sharpen up and be at my top. As soon as I get that gold, I should be all set and ready to go.
Was he a tougher opponent than you had expected, even though you had fought him before?
Nah, he was the same, you know. The elbows, him throwing my head down. You know, I try to sit down and go to the body, but it seemed like every time I was trying to go to the body, he was putting my head down. So that caused a lot of energy out of me too also, but you know, I kept to it, I kept throwing the combinations, and I won.
The scoring, did you feel as though it was a little bit more lopsided than 11-9?
Yeah, it was lopsided a lot. I know he didn't hit me 9 times. He probably hit me 3-4 times the most, but everything was mostly blocked. I was blocking everything. You seen how I was walking him down, blocking the shot, coming in with my 1-2-3s. But you know, that's how it's gonna be, so I guess the next fight I gotta make sure they don't score no points.
Congratulations. I know you want to watch this fight because that's your next opponent.
All right, thank you. Take it easy.
Back to you, Bob.
All right, that's right. Demetrius
Yanez of Duncanville, Texas.